What's up, YouTube? This is Ryan, and welcome to the Nook. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely looking forward to the most anticipated game coming out for the Switch, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. There's just so much to do. The clothing customization alone is pretty cool, considering there's all different types of clothing, and clothing isn't just important for aesthetics, it's also important depending on what kind of biome you're in. So once you enter into a snowy biome, you're a different tunic, or you'll freeze to death. A big part of Breath of the Wild that separates it from all of the other Legend of Zelda games is the amount of weapons that you can use in this game. So you're able to get swords, clubs, spears. For what we know so far, there is an axe. There's also a giant sledgehammer. And then, of course, you've got the countless types of bows in the game, as well as shields. I like the fact that when in combat, you can just pick up any enemy's weapon if you've knocked it out of their hands, and they'll have to improvise by throwing rocks or finding another weapon close by. Another big thing about all the weapons in the game is that they don't last, that you have to continuously keep picking up and discovering new weapons that have different offensive stats as well as durability. I really like how big the Breath of the Wild map is, considering just one plateau is a big map on its own. Regarding weapons, combat has kind of changed a lot in each game. So now you have a stamina meter, which we had in Skyward Sword.
Take it.
But the big difference from Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild is that it plays a big role in combat, because you need it to attack, you need it to charge moves, and you need it to defend against enemy attacks. In regards to weapons, the different ways that you can combat enemies is pretty cool. Like, I really like the ability to disarm an enemy. I think it plays a big part in Breath of the Wild and a player's game style. There was a lot of detail put into the combat aspects of the game,
Hold the Sheikah slate
like
up
how
to the
you can
pedestal.
disarm an enemy
That
and
will show you the way.
they'll just start throwing rocks at you, and then you can take that a step further, and if you time it correctly, when they throw a rock at you, you can actually hit it back at the enemy. I think another really cool aspect of combat is how you can choose to fight, or you can choose to sneak around enemies, and you can do sneak strikes to deal massive damage, and it doesn't alert other sleeping enemies nearby. As well as the basic melee combat, there's ranged combat, and just
You
like
are the
in
light.
Ocarina of Time, there's
Our light
different types
that
of bows.
must shine upon Hyrule once
There's
again.
also different types of
Now
bow
go.
shots. There's fire shots, ice shots, and explosive shots. Even though a bow is a very efficient ranged combat fighting style, there are also much larger weapons like spears, which are helpful if you don't want to use arrows or waste them. I really like how there's a different enemy residing within each plateau. So if you begin to explore a new plateau, you really don't know what you're gonna see. I know a lot of people are into amiibo. Personally, I actually don't have any, and it's more a matter of getting the money for them. But there's a lot of different amiibo that you can use in this game. Most of the amiibo just add in-game items that you can get later, and it just kind of gives you a quick shortcut to them. But I think an amiibo that would be worth getting is the Twilight Princess amiibo, just because you can actually have Wolf Link in the game with you. And if you've played Twilight Princess before and you saved the 20 hearts into Wolf Link, then those hearts will transfer into Breath of the Wild, which I think is a pretty cool feature. That if you've continued playing, if you've been playing the games,
An apple and
then
an
you're
open
kind of
flame is a
rewarded.
recipe for a
I
succulent
really
treat.
like the openness
It is a bit of
of Breath of
surprise
the
to
Wild,
see a fellow
because
traveler these
it's been
days.
said that you
I
come out
need
of that
not be a
cave,
concern of yours.
and
I'm
it
just
gives
a
you a path
strange
to
old
go,
man, that's all.
but you can
One
go
who has lived
completely
here.
the other
No.
way.
for
It's
quite
even
some
said
time
you
now.
could
Enough of
theoretically
that.
beat the
What
game
about you,
in
young
like
one?
15
What are
minutes.
you doing here?
Which I know for sure some people are going to do
Answering a question
just
with
to
a
do it
question.
and
That is
then
fair enough.
go through everything
As
else.
I cannot
But I
imagine
like
our
how you aren't
meeting to be a
forced
simple
to follow
coincidence.
one
I shall
path
tell you,
through the entire
this
game.
is the
You
Great
can kind
Plateau.
of choose your
According
story
to legend, this is
and
the
make your own
birthplace
path.
of the entire
So
kingdom
far, we
of
know that
Hyrule.
there are definitely 120 shrines that you can find around the map, and each one of these shrines has a small dungeon which has a trial, and if you get through the trial,
Temple
you gain
there,
a spirit
long
orb.
ago. That
And
was
the
the
only
site
use
of
that we
many
know of
sacred
for the
ceremonies.
spirit orbs is that
Since
you can get the
decline
paraglider
of
from the
kingdom,
old man
it
near
now
the
sits
beginning
abandoned
of the
in
game.
a state of decay.
A huge element in Breath of the Wild is
Yet another
cooking,
forgotten entity,
which we
a
haven't
mere
really seen
ghost
in a
of
lot
its
of the
former
games,
self.
except for maybe Skyward Sword with the basic crafting mechanics. I think it's really interesting how you can collect different materials and ingredients throughout the world, and
Head for the point marked
actually
on the
cook
map in your Sheikah
different
slate.
food that has certain effects. It reminds me a lot of Skyrim. I think it's going to be a very cool and interesting thing to have in the game. Something that we've really never seen before is the addition of DLC. Now you can pre-order the expansion pass, which actually gives you a bonus of 3 treasure chests that are in the Great Plateau, 2 chests which contain useful items and supplies, and 1 chest containing exclusive Nintendo Switch themed clothing that you won't be able to get in the game unless you get this expansion pass. And then we've got the DLC Pack 1, which will be available in summer of this year, and then DLC Pack 2, which will be available around Christmas time. The first pack adds a new Cave of Trials challenge, a new hard mode which is probably similar to the Ocarina of Time Master Quest, and then it also adds additional map features, which we're going to have to figure out what that is. And then DLC Pack 2 adds an entire additional story to it, which should be interesting, a new dungeon to explore, and more challenges to face. So we're going to have to wait for those to come out to really know what we get with those. Something that a lot of people have been curious about is where Breath of the Wild takes place in the Legend of Zelda timeline. The only thing that has been confirmed about Breath of the Wild is that it takes place after Ocarina of Time. I think the most likely scenario is that Breath of the Wild would take place after Wind Waker. In Wind Waker, it was mostly water, but they were talking about how they were planting all these trees and wanted all the islands to become one. And after Wind Waker and the handheld spin-offs, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, the best guess is that that happened. Something that also really points to that is that you can pick up rock salt in the game, which says it's crystallized salt from the ancient sea, which would make sense considering it was Wind Waker was 90% water. So I would bet that it came after Wind Waker in the spin-offs, but who knows? Maybe it'll be confirmed later. Well, that is all the time I've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment in the section below. This is Ryan, signing off.